guest of honor tonight, Eddy Merckx. We've had about 2,000 introductions, so I'm going to make this very short, and I'll just say thank you, Eddy, for coming tonight. Eddy, in our estimation, is the world's greatest champion, and that's it. So, I would like to say thanks for Giorgio and Greta, the president of GIDA today, who really made all of this happen. Without him, his bikes, his friendship with Eddy, this wouldn't have come together. So thank you very much.
Well, first of all, it's loud. First of all, Eddy Merckx, I mean, many of us know. We're good to go? I hope so. This is easier. We're all happy to be sitting down from after walking around all day and standing up at the bike show all the time. 5-time Tour de France winner, 5-time Giro winner, Vuelta winner. I mean, you go on a website to look up your results and it's not one page. It's just pages after pages, and it's not placings that are 7th in this and 9th in this. It's like the first 3/4 pages are all first places all around. And to start off with, we've just got done watching Lance Armstrong win a 7th consecutive Tour de France, and you've been in a position where you've been with consecutive tours and feeling the pressure that builds on someone as they're continuing to try to have to win these huge important races. And I wonder if you could talk about how you handle that pressure every single time going into these large, important bike races.
I think the part of the character, I think
This one works. This is the low one for me. I'll give him the loud one.
I think it's part for yourself now, because you grow up, and when you start to win, you become pressure, and then the more you win, the more you want to win. But sometimes it's difficult. But for me, it was not so difficult.
Everything's easier when you have good legs, huh?
No, I think when you sport, you try to win. When Andrea Gassi played tennis, he wants to win, and so if you do sport, you try to win.
Well, on that note, saying that, right, when you're riding well and you want to win, obviously you always try to win the bike race. When you've had bad days where you didn't feel that good or things didn't go as planned, and when you're used to winning and being a big champion and winning a lot, and all of a sudden you have those bad days, do you think it's tougher on you to lose those events or for things not to go your way compared to maybe another rider, let's say myself, never got up to that level? And so losing is easier for other people than maybe it was for you?
Yeah, for me it was not so easy to lose, because if you're beat by something who is better than you, you have to accept it. So I was beat also a lot of times, but I tried to know why I was beaten, why I couldn't win, especially in big races, like classics of stage races. But that's a mentality from somebody. If you're born as winner, you want to win. When Lance starts, he wants to win too. So that's make a difference.
There's a lot of luck in getting through the Tour de France. There's 3 weeks. There's so many close calls and the crashes and everything. We've seen some exciting tours in the past. And can you talk a little bit about how in the tours that you did or the Giro, that part of luck, that play a huge role in allowing you to be able to continue that streak of winning? Did you have many close calls or incidences where everything could have totally changed and gone the other way, and you could have lost the entire race?
Yeah, absolutely. It is would be very concentrated what you do, and especially when you go in the descents of the big climbs, when you go by 100 kilometers per hour, and you have to don't take risk. But sometimes you have to take risk, but you must be also a little bit lucky. But I think also when you're fresh on your bike and you good concentrated, it's more easy things.
You talked about the descents. Did you enjoy doing those descents, or did you
Yes.
did you look for the bottom, saying, "Oh God, I can't wait to get to the bottom there"?
I was suffering so much in the climb, so I said, no break in the descents.
I don't think I believe that.
Did you know suffer in the climbs? Everybody's
I was an expert at that.
No, because you take the bus, and I couldn't take the bus, so I stayed in front.
I would just stretch my arm a little bit once in a while, so it wasn't so bad. Obviously, you've had some very bad luck in the Tour de France. I mean, you had your streak of Tour de France when 69 was your first tour, and so we're speaking of bad luck with 1975 with the fan punching you a little bit, a lot. Obviously, that affected you. We see the chaos on the roads and all the people like that. And we heard about Lance Armstrong, the Alpe d'Huez, and the people spitting on him, some of the negativity there. When you were racing and the people all on the road, they would jump back, did it ever enter into your mind something like that could happen?
No, I never think about it because when you're there on the road, you can be supported for one rider and not supported for the other, but you be a sportman. So, but I think the problem was that I was also the first foreigner who can beat the record of Jean-Marc. It makes also the newspapers and especially the French, get a little bit
negative.
So
maybe it's no different than how it is now. I don't know.
That's absolutely the same. But you have not to think about that. The race, you can only race.
And you see the tour, it seems like it's expanded, it's just grown enormously. And so do you think security is more of an issue for the riders that are out on the road now than maybe back when you were riding and you ran into your own problems? And luckily we haven't had those situations yet.
Well, absolutely, that can happen always now, but I think most of the people now will be more intelligent than they were before maybe, and so that things could happen anyway.
In 1969, it was your first win of the Tour. Going into that race, did you know you had the form to be able to win the Tour?
Yeah, absolutely, because I was winning the Tour of Italy in '68. So, and also '68 also I could go to the Tour de France, but and new sponsor, and so I had to do the Tour of Italy and do both. In '68 was a little too much, so I was very confident to go in '69 to the Tour de France.
And you did both more than a few times. Nowadays, not many riders do that, where they do both big races. Do you care to address kind of why? Like when you were racing, you gained a lot of fitness from doing the Giro, which helped you out into the Tour, and maybe why that's not kind of an option for riders nowadays.
I don't know, because you prepare only to go to the France, it becomes much bigger than it was in my time. But I think like Pantani did the Tour of Italy and Tour de France, I think you can do both. For me, if you could train, then healthy. I think for me the Tour of Italy was a very good preparation for the Tour de France, because the climbs were harder in the Tour of Italy than they were in Tour de France, and so you climb much better in Tour de France than the Tour of Italy.
And going into the '69 Tour, obviously a favorite to be able to win, and same with Lance going into these tours. Is it harder to win, not only the Tour, like one-day classics also, sometimes it's harder to win when you are the favorite. Much harder than if you're not the favorite, because you're not so marked, you're not so looked after. And so can you talk a little bit about how you had to be, almost to win races, you had to be 10 times stronger than you normally would have been if you were a different name and not Eddy Merckx.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's always more difficult to win when you're the best. That's why also you need a good team. You cannot compete between the 200 riders in the start. So like Lance also had a strong team. People like Georges Capri and Yakimov and so on and so on. Because on the hand, the riders don't ride to win, but to try to lose the race. So you need a good team and by yourself.
Which you've experienced, I believe, in the '69 Worlds. You had everybody riding against you pretty much. And it was one of those situations where, like I was thinking about it, it's like no matter, you were so marked that there was just nothing you could do.
Yeah, in '69 the Russian, it was also a very flat course, and so I was not really sprinted, and also we have in the Belgian team we have Valoy and me, we were not so good friends at that time, so yeah, it was difficult.
Having a rival like that, does that motivate? I mean, Lance has spoke a lot about Jan Ulrich being his main nemesis, his rival that has kind of motivated him. And did you have a main rival that kept you motivated and to train harder, to continue to win, and to kind of looking out to always try to beat this guy?
Yeah, I think Ocaña was one of them. Gimoni also. Gimoni, when I was becomes professional, Gimoni was winning the Tour, and then '66 Gimoni was winning the Paris-Roubaix and Paris-Roubaix. Also, he won the Tour of Italy in '67. And so that was very motivating for me when I could beat him the first time in the Tour of Italy in '68, and then also what happened in the Tour of Italy in '69. And then on the Tour of France '69, I think it was a good result.
You get motivated by the payback, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
World Championships just happened. Huge Belgian favorite, Tom Boonen winning, and a lot of the success for young riders coming up is a lot of what they've done in the past and the development of what Belgian cycling has done. And obviously, I think it's a great name, Tom Boonen, for Belgian cycling. And do you think this is going to help the sport of cycling in Belgium? And can you address a little bit on how do they have a development program that helps bring up these phenomenal riders?
Yeah, I think Boon is a very big talent. He was also a very big talent as amateur. He won a lot of races, but I hope it will help because in Belgium the races are not so good organized. The course is much more. That's why also Belgian riders are not so good anymore in the stage races. But in the one-day races, Belgian guys, I think especially Tom Boonen for the next year will be the best rider for the one-day races.
Yeah, I mean, phenomenal rider. And you mentioned about the Belgians not doing so well in some of the larger stages like the Tour. The French seem to be having the same problem in the Tour. Do you see that changing? Do you see maybe any young riders that might be coming up to be able to possibly bring some glory, let's say, back to France or Belgium?
Yeah, Belgium. It's not impossible, but I think the mentality a little bit to change because the riders, especially I think in Belgium and France, they think when they win some race they are big champions. So, and the problem is that it's hard to become to the top, but it's much harder to work hard to stay on the top.
You're saying they're getting soft or spoiled.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's. Yeah. And yeah, also we have big talents in the past, like Frank van der Broek. Say what happened with him. So that's the mentality also, and I think the mentality of American riders